Huh?
She can stay there.
Just stay there, yeah. Junior hunt eligibility. You're on the next one, too.
Okay, another status report for CGR 379, which deals with the junior hunt eligibility changes. This was brought forward at the September Commission meeting as a request to draft language to expand the age for the junior hunt. Currently, the junior hunt allows for youth to apply through the age of 16 as long as they don't turn 17 by the close of the season. The expansion would allow them to apply through the age of 17 as long as they don't turn 18 by the close of the seasons on their application. And then also to expand the years of eligibility. Right now they're allowed to apply 4 years as a junior hunter and expand it to 5 years since you're, and that was a recommendation I thought, because you're bumping it a year of age, bump the eligibility year of application a year so that it was an equal bump. You're not still restricting them to the 4 years of application. Drafting the language actually was pretty straightforward. I only had to change 2 things in the section, just 2 numbers. But the impact programmatically, because of a change made several years ago for those youth to be able to transfer any outstanding points to the 1331, when I asked for a cost estimate from systems consultants, I asked for them to also take that into account because it may affect programming. And so that's out there. Now, when I presented that concern to LCB, and I got the language back in, I submitted in October. I got it back fairly timely because it was just those two little numbers to change. But I called Randy Stevenson. I talked to him about the concern on the bonus point transfer aspect, because it's not directly in this language, but there is an effect to the juniors. He said that if there is an effect, that we would have to come forward with transition language on how we were going to handle those youth if there's a program situation there, get that identified in language as a note, not necessarily as NAC, but as a note attached to the NAC, so that during that transition and implementation, we have clear direction on how those youth that may possibly be affected in those bonus point arena, that there's clear direction for the department. And so I still have work to do on that one. I've got to get with systems consultants and discuss the programming associated with those kids that might have, they've transferred points, but age-wise they may still be eligible if this goes through, how they're going to handle programmatically and get language down, submit that to LCB. Then that will all come forward when I workshop it before you and the county advisory boards at that time. So that's where I'm at on that one, in determining if that impact in that transition language. This one also, I could have language back in February, but I'm waiting on the legislative commission committee when they schedule after that. If we approve it in February, I still have to wait for that. Programmatically, with the regulation information, that's already going to be, we're going to start applying in March, so we're not going to make the big game for this change on this particular regulation too. So programming cost on this one is $1,000. So, and that was the estimate that systems consultants provided. So that's the status on those 2. So my goal is to get those resubmitted and get that language back and make sure it meets our intent. So.
Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Pearl?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I was the one responsible for suggesting the change on the youth tag, and I'd like to give just a very short history of why. My son drew that tag the first year that we had it. He was 12, and he drew it 12 and 13. Did not draw for the next 3 years. But what concerns me about this is with the age, the way it is here, seniors in high school would not be able to apply for a youth tag. And it just seemed to me like that should be extended to afford a better chance for them to get a tag. I did not suggest any tag increases. That wasn't part of my suggestion. So, I would not oppose that if somebody else said it, but that's not part of my suggestion. The point comes out is this. Right now we have our average age, and I think this was the last time I talked to Don Sefton, it's been a while ago now, the average age of hunters is going up about 1 year every year, which tells us that we're losing the young hunters. And it's my view that we ought to provide as much opportunity for them to experience that as possible. So that's the reason why, and I guess we'll discuss it when it comes up. But
I have one comment. This last year, we had 100 youth tags left over again, and we've had more in the past. Expanding it, and this is just a comment just to keep in mind for when the language comes forward, expanding it 1 year, those youth that are in that expanded pool, maybe we'd actually be able to capture some sales. There's the possibility. I mean, this year we had 100 tags, but they were pretty scattered across the state. It wasn't just the rubies like it's been in the past. So maybe there's an opportunity to capture some sales there too. 100 tags, at $30. So there is that opportunity there, but and an opportunity in the field. So anyways, that was just a note when I was looking at some numbers that I thought, well, there would be a fiscal benefit, small one, but still some. So.
More important than the fiscal benefit is getting more kids out in the field,
Yeah,
I think.
or maintaining them in the field.
Yeah.
So.
Commissioner Rain?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just trying to remember when we went through this here at the commission. I remember talking about increasing the age bracket if it was possible, and then we limited it from either 4 to 5 to just strictly 4. I don't remember us discussing that it was going to go to 5.
Well, I brought that. I contacted Commissioner Campero because that wasn't clear. I wasn't at that commission meeting, and I said, well, did anybody bring forward that, if you're expanding the age, expanding the years of eligibility too, because why keep them restricted to 4 if you're expanding the age a year too? So I was the one who brought that forward. It will be up for public comment and through the workshop process, but I figure you go 1 year here, go 1 year here, because when the youth hunt came forward and the change to restrict to 4 years, is to make it an even playing field. So yeah, I brought that suggestion.
She brought it up to me, and because I was the proponent of it, I told her that we should expand.
Yeah. When the 4-year aspect was implemented at the same time as the bonus point transfers, and that was to have that level playing field for those kids that had a birth date that gave them the potential for 5 years. Well, this will make it level playing field for the kids that may end up with 6 years versus 5 years, and everybody would have 5 years then. So.
Any other questions? If not, Commissioner Holgren.
Question, Mr. What is our current rate, of junior hunters, and say maybe opposed to the last 3 years ago?
I think it's around 2,400. I don't have those figures with me today, but it usually runs around 2,400, 2,500 right in there. And we have a 3,000, and then they come back and pick up remaining tags if they're not successful. So I'm thinking it's around the 2,500.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you.